Hello, I'm Tom Bailey, and in today's episode, I'll be getting to know Debbie Allen, who's an award-winning entrepreneur, internationally recognized business and branding expert, and the best-selling author of 10 books, including Insider Secrets of International Speaking, The Highly Paid Expert, and Success is Easy. So, Debbie, hello, and a very warm welcome to today's episode.
Hey, Tom, excited to be here. And let's rock this thing. Let's get people speaking.
Thank you so much. And Debbie, whereabouts are you in the world right now?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. It's nice and warm. And it's going to be like I don't know, you can do the translation of the
Hmm.
degrees, 100 degrees today. Starting to get warm.
Fantastic.
I'm going to spend my summer, pretty much all my summer in Maui, Hawaii. So I get
Nice.
away from this heat. And that's a good thing. And being a speaker, you can be anywhere in the world. And you're going to talk about that today.
Amazing, especially now we have all these amazing virtual tools which people are getting so familiar with. Okay, so let me just share a little bit more about Debbie then before we do get started. So, Debbie's been an entrepreneur since the age of 19, was a self-made millionaire by the age of 30, and has built and sold numerous million-dollar companies. And as a speaker, has presented to thousands of people in 28 countries around the world. The title for today's episode is How to Become an Expert Who Speaks Professionally, and Debbie's going to show us how to do that in just 7 minutes. So, no pressure, Debbie. Question number one is, who are your ideal clients?
My ideal clients are people that are want to become an expert in their niche
Hmm.
market, want to become the top of their game. And when you're positioned as an expert, you can move forward and fast very quickly. So, a lot of my clients didn't start out as speakers. They were
Hmm.
coaches or consultants, or they had some years of experience in something where they now want to teach it. Now they want to become, take one hat off and become something
Hmm.
else. And I did that when I was in retail for many years, building and selling retail stores. I took that retail hat off,
Yeah,
running the stores, and became a speaker in the retail industry. And that's how I launched my business 26 years ago.
amazing. And when we think of these ideal clients, what's typically the biggest challenge that they face?
The biggest problem they face is they don't know how to market themselves.
Yeah.
And if you want to be out there and share your voice, which you should be, whether
Hmm.
I'm speaking later today to chiropractors from Australia. They're
Yeah.
still in a position as experts. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, you've got to be the top of your game. And so the biggest thing they don't know how to market. They don't know how to find that thing that they really own. And
Hmm.
that's kind of my brilliance. I know how to do that. I'm kind of a business intuitive when it comes to that because
Yeah.
I'm in many businesses and I love building businesses. So it's kind of
Great.
like they had this business and now we're building an online business featuring them as the expert, and then they can create online courses like you said, Tom, doing summits.
Hmm.
Even if you're
Yeah.
not ready for a stage yet, this is a perfect time to be learning speaking online, and then learning how to speak and sell as well. And that's what experts do, is they sell their services, products, their knowledge.
Of course. And when we think of these experts or coaches or entrepreneurs that don't really know how to market themselves or haven't found that brand niche yet, what impact does that typically have on their business?
Oh, I'll give you a case study of one, because I
Hmm.
love to take people who were not even entrepreneurs or don't even know how to think that way and then
Yeah.
recreate them, right? So one of my clients, her name is Stacy Danford, and she's based out of Dallas, Texas. Absolutely adorable. She was an art teacher uh, in teaching school for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And she didn't know anything except getting a paycheck. And so teaching her how to be an entrepreneur, she was like, wait a minute, I got to go out and make money now. I'm so used to like getting a check. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
what a concept. I never thought of that because I've been an entrepreneur my
Hmm.
whole life. I've never had a job in my life. And so, teaching her how to think that way. And then her topic was so soft, teaching people how to accept gratitude and how gratitude changes their life. I mean, pretty soft topic to make money.
Yeah. Of
And
course.
then what I found from her was like digging in what her background was, is that she had also gone to school to be a neuroscientist to study how the brain is actually affected once you
Yeah.
have gratitude in your life. And I'm like, oh, okay, now it's scientific. Now we got some
Hmm.
business behind it. Now companies
Yeah.
will hire you. And so before she hired me, she wasn't making any money speaking. She was just out there. This is my passion. This is my hobby, kind of thing, right? So building a whole brand around her being a number one, neuroscientist that teaches gratitude, and building a brand that, her website taught her speaking skills and taught her how to build an online course. And she made
Hmm.
$100,000 her first year. And
Incredible.
so not bad when you're making, I
Yeah.
think the most she ever made was 40,000 in
Hmm.
20 some years, her first year as an
Yep.
entrepreneur. So she just
Yeah.
didn't have the direction. She was just giving
Hmm.
away her time as a speaker. She didn't know how to monetize it.
What an inspiring story. And I guess if anyone's listening to this story and thinking, I'd love to go on that journey, what's one piece of advice you'd give them to get started on that journey today?
Well, I mean, just an overview, Tom, is they can go onto
Hmm.
Amazon and get my book, The Highly Paid
Yeah.
Expert. It's a best-selling book, and it really walks them through. It's a great process where a lot of my clients have found me by even reading the book, and it tells you the whole process of how to create that business, how to use your expertise to speak, write books, write articles, get media attention, all the steps. It's a very much a step-by-step guidebook. So that's a great place to start. And then they can go
Absolutely.
to my website, debbieallen.com,
Hmm.
and start following me and see how I do online classes and get to know this world, which is pretty exciting.
It is. Thank you so much. And also, I think we looked at a resource that you had available as well. So, could you let us know a little bit more about that client attraction success resource so people can get downloading that?
Right. So client attraction success with ease.com, you're going to get a 30-page ebook. And that's going to teach
Hmm.
you 7 ways of how to get clients, a little bit about the expert positioning, and then getting into a deeper level of that, how to create a marketing funnel. Those of you that
Great.
are ready to create some online business. There's also a complimentary webinar on there that teaches that same kind of thing. So if you're ready to go out and get more clients and really position yourself as an expert, it's absolutely free. Just go there, sign up, grab the webinar, grab the ebook, and it's all there for your listeners.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That's clientattractionsuccesswithease.com. And I'll put that link into the show notes below so you can click that and you can go in and download that free guide. So, onto a slightly separate topic now, Debbie. What would you say is your greatest either failure or mistake that you've made in life or business? And what did you learn from it?
Well, I would say I fail forward fast.
Yeah.
Let's do a story
Hmm.
like that. That's a little different. I wanted to be an international speaker, and
Yeah.
an international is really traveling the world, and so not only an international speaker, but an international speaker who puts on an event on the other side of the world. So I go out and I go to one country I wanted to spend a lot of time with, which was New Zealand. So pick one of the smallest countries and go there with zero database
Mhm.
list, which means
Yeah.
nobody knows me, right?
Yeah.
Except for the internet. If you go online, you're going to find me and know all about me. So I signed a contract with a hotel in Auckland, New Zealand, that I was going to fill the room and have an event. Before I went, after signing the contract, I went and signed quite a few speaking engagements, maybe 4 or 5. They weren't like a lot, maybe 5 I did. They weren't big audiences, but I would go
Hmm.
and speak. And in getting those speaking engagements, being an expert from the United States, that's one of the top speakers, it was super easy.
Yeah.
And international speaking is easier when you're positioned easier than you would think,
Yeah.
because you're now flying in. Like, I'm going to be there. Can I speak at your event? Oh my gosh, yes.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
I easily got those speaking engagements. And from those speaking engagements, I sold tickets to come to that event. And I had a full event. The room was full. But that was totally failing forward fast because I had never done it. I was
Yeah.
scared. But
Hmm.
I'm thinking, if I'm teaching people how to fill events and be a speaker and have their own stage, then I got to do it in one of the scariest stages. It's one of the smallest
Exactly.
countries.
Yeah.
So when I make failure, I like to make failure fast. So I learn a lesson and keep going.
And how easy would it have been to say, do you know what? I'll leave that till next year.
Right. Or
But you
never do
didn't.
it because,
Yeah.
like, what am
Or
I
never do it.
thinking? What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Filling a room, signing the contract, with a
Hmm.
hotel and a beautiful hotel. And that's a lot of money up front.
Yeah.
But, here it bought me a 1 month vacation. I got
Yeah.
to do what I love doing,
Hmm.
helping people, speaking and traveling and enjoying that trip. And then putting on an event that made me a lot of money. So it was a pretty good month.
Yeah.
But, it was scary. So I would
Hmm.
say, I didn't really fail at it. I think, you learn from something. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
got to do it and go for it.
Absolutely.
And as a lifetime entrepreneur, that's, you learn to have a lot of guts and go with stuff.
Yeah. Say goodbye to your comfort zone and take a trip to New Zealand or Australia.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much. And the last question from me today is, what is one question that I should have asked you that will also give some great value to our audience today?
What is the biggest challenge I overcame?
And what would you say
I
that is?
Yeah, I would say in the speaking world, it was starting my career. Like I didn't know anything about the speaking business, and I was in the apparel business, and I would go to these shows, and there was no speaking. Nobody was doing any seminars. I thought, well, that's crazy. People are coming here buying for their business, but they're not teaching them to be successful. I could do that. I took a business from $100,000 to a multi-million-dollar business in 2.5 years, not by myself, but by the mentors that were in my
Yeah.
life, and I wanted to give back. That's all I knew, Tom. I didn't know to be a speaker. And I said, I'll fill the room, standing room only. Okay, if you have been to Las Vegas in the United States, people party, and trying to
Yeah.
get people to a seminar in a morning, and there's salespeople that have been out drinking all night,
Yeah.
and retailers that don't want to, go. But it was standing room only. I was a shameless promoter, promoting it on the shuttle buses and everything. And,
Yeah.
and that's how I started my career. I proved to them they needed seminars. So it was
Fantastic.
gutsy. It was scary. But a lot of people say you got to speak a ton of times to get good to be paid to speak. And that was not the case. And so I
Yeah.
want them to know you don't have to speak 50, 100 times to get good to get paid. You can get paid if you're positioned as an expert, you're going to get
Yeah.
paid right away.
Amazing. Great advice and some wonderful stories as well, Debbie. And I wanted to thank you again so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed getting to know you.
Same here, Tom. Wish you well. And everybody out there, if you're thinking about speaking, just position yourself as an expert. It's going to move you so much faster. It's been a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you so much.